Right, close focus, more or less. Today we'll talk about diopters for anamorphic lenses, specifically today for the Sirui Anamorphic 1.6. It has a 58mm filter thread, and I use Freewell VNDs. It's VND Mist. 58mm works really, really great. Now, if you're wondering what I'm using here, that my Sirui Anamorphic lens has autofocus, I'm using the PD Movie. It's the Motor Smart Mini. They have come out with a new one, but you can see that it is the fastest autofocus, even at night with no light, that you will ever see. I don't think any autofocus lens can do that. Not a chance. And it will follow me really nicely all the way up to about here, right? I can see it stops moving about here, so this is minimum focus. Anyway, today we're talking about diopters. I'm doing this film because I've wanted to do it for ages. I just haven't had the time, and now that I don't have any sponsored videos for this part of the month, I can do what I want. So we're talking about the Walimex Pro filter set. Comes in a nice little case like this. It's got a 1, 2, 4, and 10 times diopter in it. This filter set right here is really cheap. In fact, all of these are really cheap. The next one we're going to be doing is the Vivitar, also 58mm. You can get all of these in different sizes, by the way. And it's a 1, 2, 4, and 10 times. The thing that you can get them in all different sizes means that you can use them on different anamorphic lenses, because a lot of anamorphic lenses have the problem of not having close focus. So we get to about here, and that's it. If I want to come closer, no luck at all, which is a really big pain in the ass. And the last one we're going to talk about is the JJC. You can get all these from the links down below. They're on Amazon. And this is actually the only one that's got a 2, 4, 8, and 10. So it is a little bit different than these two, because these are all 1, 2, 4, and 10. And it just means that you have a slightly different focus range. Now, I'm making this film because a lot of people out there want to have close focus with anamorphic lenses for closer portraits, but they can't. And I'm just showing you the difference between these diopters right here. If there is a difference in flaring, if there is a difference in close focus, in quality resolution, you're going to be able to see it. It's all filmed in 4K on the Sirui Anamorphic lens. So that's really about it. There's not much more to it. This is not going to be a pretty film. This is an educational, informational film about all of these and how it'll look like. I'm guessing if you do buy a different filter size, the quality will be the same across the board from these free companies. And these are actually the free companies I could find, because I found different filters, but they looked really, really bad. So these free looked cool. Anyway, once again, insanely fast PD Movie, insanely fast. You can actually, I think, remember up to 6 lenses on this LiDAR autofocus system, and it works incredibly well. Let's get to the tests.
Right, let's cue some music from audio, links below. This is what the Sirui lens looks like without any filter. It is about an arm's length, and this is as close as I can get before it goes out of focus. First filter, or diopter, Walimex Pro X1, and it is no doubt the cleanest. And by that I mean there is no halation, there is no mist, there is no dispersion of the light sources behind me. And when we get 2 times 4, it gets really close and it gets a little bit odd, but I still like the look and I think it has a place in cinematography. Times 10 is very close and it will come in handy if you want to get those macro shots. It's a very sharp diopter, the Walimex. The Vivitar, as you can see straight away, really acts like a mist filter and the close-up filter. So all the light sources that are flashing the shadows really lift everything up and kind of give it this kind of mist feel to it. I'm not sure if I like that. I know some people won't, but it's something that is the reason that I'm doing these tests. So you can see the difference. And at the end of these tests, you're going to be able to see them all next to each other and see the difference between the Vivitar and the Walimex and see how much the Vivitars really do change your image. I like it, but it's not something that everybody wants. The JJC has the 2 times, and then it goes straight up to the 4 times, and from there it goes to the 8 times, which the other 2 filter sets don't have. It's still pretty sharp, but it's nowhere near as contrasty and sharp as the Walimex, but it gives you different options like this 8 times, which is kind of like a middle between the 4 and the 10. Now, I know these 8 and 10 time shots are a little bit, you know, intimate, a little bit fugly, but they do come in handy in cinematography. These kind of shots can be used and are very, very useful. So having them on an anamorphic lens is fantastic. Now look what happens when I put them next to each other. The Walimex really holds strong, it's very contrasty, it's natural, whereas the JJC and the Vivitar, they almost act like mist filters, lifting those shadows and slightly blooming the highlights, the actual lights that I have in the frame. And here you can see them all next to each other. I think the Walimex is by far the strongest.
So that's it. That is it. These are what you saw. You know, it's a screw-in filter, so you can screw them in. You can stack them if you want to get really, really crazy close, but there's no point in that because the 10 times is already ridiculously close. And you be the judge. I mean, everybody's got a different preference as to what they want a film, a project, an image to look like, so you can choose. I'm not going to say which one is the best because they all look slightly different. But once again, you can pick them up with the links down below. I hope you enjoyed this film. If it did help you out, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do, and you know, ring that bell. It will help get this information to the rest of the community. Gonna catch you on the next one.